Teacher talking sports, what it does, what it do, how we living. The NBA's trade deadline is just 8 days away. Will there be any major moves? Stay tuned. In this video, I'm going to take a look at the last four trade deadlines. So 2021, 2020, 2019, and 2018. And look at the biggest trade in each of those trade deadline years. I'm only looking at the day of the actual trade deadline. So if a trade occurred, let's say 3 or 4 days before the trade deadline, I'm not looking at that. So we're going to start with last year. The biggest trade to go down on the trade deadline was between the Orlando Magic and the Chicago Bulls. The Bulls acquired Nikola Vucevic and Al-Farouq Amino for Wendell Carter Jr., Otto Porter Jr., a 2021 first-round pick, and a 2023 first-round pick, which is top four protected. Vucevic, former All-Star, didn't quite turn the Bulls season around last year after he was acquired. Zach LaVine got hurt. The Bulls fell short of even in the playoff play-in game. The Magic are still one of the worst teams in the league, but with that first-round pick, they did get Franz Wagner, who does look like one of the better rookies this season, and the Bulls have completely turned it around this year with the signing of DeMar DeRozan, and Vucevic is an important piece, along with DeRozan and Zach LaVine, as the Bulls are near the top of the Eastern Conference. Honorable mention for last year, Aaron Gordon and Gary Clark to the Nuggets for Gary Harris, RJ Hampton, and future first-round picks to the Orlando Magic. Also, Norman Powell was traded to the Trailblazers for Gary Trent Jr. and Rodney Hood, who went to Toronto. 2020, the trade deadline was February 6th, 2020. The Warriors traded D'Angelo Russell to the Wolves for Andrew Wiggins. That wasn't the complete trade. It was D'Angelo Russell, Jacob Evans, and Omari Spellman to the Wolves for Andrew Wiggins, a 2021 protected first-round pick, which ended up as Jonathan Kuminga, the 7th pick. He's looked pretty good in his rookie season, and a 2021 second-round pick, which was later traded to OKC. Andrew Wiggins is a starter in the All-Star game this year. Whether he deserves it is another story, but, you know, the Warriors are still one of the best teams in the league. I believe the second best record, only behind Phoenix. D'Angelo Russell hasn't necessarily paid dividends in 2020 or last season, but the Wolves are, I believe, the 8th seed right now, and Russell has played extremely well the last 10, 15 games. So not a bad trade for either team. Honorable mention, Dion Waiters, Justice Winslow, and Gorgui Dieng were traded to Memphis in exchange for Andre Iguodala, Solomon Hill, Jay Crowder to the Heat. James Johnson was also to the Timberwolves. The Heat did make the finals that season with Iguodala and Crowder both playing quite large roles. 2019 trade deadline, February 7th, Marc Gasol traded from the Grizzlies to the Raptors. This kind of was a win-win. Gasol was traded to the Raptors in exchange for Jonas Valanciunas, Darrell Wright, C.J. Miles, and a 2024 second-round pick. All went to Memphis. Yes, Marc Gasol was a large piece in the Toronto Raptors winning the NBA championship. Their first, Kawhi Leonard, of course, was the main piece, but Marc Gasol did play a large role in helping them win their first title. Valanciunas is still a very productive player, while Marc Gasol is out of the league now. Valanciunas, of course, is now on the New Orleans Pelicans, a trade that netted the Grizzlies' Steven Adams. Some honorable mentions, Mike Muscala to the Lakers for Michael Beasley and Ivica Zubac. So definitely a great trade for the Clippers, because Zubac has been their starting center basically ever since. And Harrison Barnes was traded to the Kings, with Justin Jackson and Zach Randolph going to the Mavericks. And in 2018, wasn't really a big year for blockbusters. The trade deadline day, February 8th, Cavaliers trade Isaiah Thomas for Jordan Clarkson, Larry Nance. The full trade was Clarkson and Larry Nance Jr. to the Cavs for Isaiah Thomas, Channing Frye, and a 2018 first-round pick. To the Lakers. They took Mo Wagner, who is also on the Magic with his brother Franz now. Isaiah Thomas was traded a few months earlier from the Celtics to the Cavaliers, with the Celtics gaining Kyrie Irving. Jordan Clarkson is the reigning sixth man of the year, but now with the Utah Jazz. And Nance was a very solid player for the Cavs until joining the Portland Trailblazers, who he's currently on now. Some honorable mentions: a 2024 second-round pick went to the Cavs in exchange for Dwayne Wade coming back to the Heat, where he spent the rest of his career. And George Hill and Rodney Hood were traded to Cleveland. Jay Crowder, Derrick Rose to Utah. Joe Johnson, Iman Shumpert, and a 2020 second-round pick to the Kings. So there we have it. The biggest trade, at least in my eyes, in each of the last 4 trade deadlines. Again, we are 8 days away. What players do you expect to be traded? Kind of bigger name players. I'm not expecting any superstars to get traded, but does someone like Jeremy Grant get traded from the Pistons? Do the Pacers move on from Sabonis and LeVert? Miles Turner may have been likely, but he's out until after the All-Star break, so it's going to be hard to trade a injured player. Let me know in the comments what players you expect to be traded this trade deadline. Don't forget to subscribe, like the video, share the video, hit the bell for notifications. I'm out.